Okay. Hello, this is Tina Coulter.
Yeah.
And ABSALOM, Richard HERDMAN. It's 28th of August, 2019. Coming up on 8 o'clock. We've been here since
it is 8 o'clock.
we've been here since what, about
3
o'clock. Tina's been here since 3 o'clock, and I pulled in around 4:30. And we're talking about homelessness in Airdrie. We're talking about murder. In Airdrie, we're talking about murdered and missing natives, and we're talking about
Jews,
murdered and missing Jews in Airdrie by homelessness. And so the story is Tina arrived at Community Links at about 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And she's homeless.
And I got 4 bus tickets.
And now hold on. She's a ward of the state, and she gets a check from the Alberta government for how much?
$910.
$910. So Premier Kenny, you have a file on Tina Coulter. What's your date of birth?
July 18th, 59.
July 18th, 1959. She was evicted by the landlord to the street because she has to use a piece of her Alberta government check. And there's scumlords in Airdrie where these people have to live. Let's back up a bit. Now, how many times does this happen in Airdrie?
3.
It's happened 3 times. And in those 3 times, have the RCMP come by?
Every time.
Every time. And what do they do? What do the RCMP do to the homeless people when they're evicted by the landlord?
They just have you take your things, and they help you take your things, and they put them outside. And then on whatever property, then they talk to you, they get more information, and then they take you and your bags to the other side of the street, and then they leave you there, and then they go.
So the RCMP, Commissioner RCMP, and the Public Safety Minister in Ottawa, did you hear that? The RCMP body and soul on behalf of the landlord take her and her son,
yeah,
place her on the street. Now,
and leave her there.
And leave her there. Now, what's really even disgusting,
I got a safety vest.
Is Community Links gives her
a sweater,
4
tickets,
and bus tickets.
5 actually.
To ship her to Calgary's drop-in center and the Kerby Centre. Now, she was interviewed by a male and a female.
Yes.
Who didn't give you a business card.
No.
But they said after if she reaches Calgary and she's not murdered, to call them up and see how she is. But does the Kerby Centre offer any housing?
Well, they do, but not for me.
Tell the camera why they can't help you.
Because I'm not with a spouse. I don't have a husband or a boyfriend. It's only for people that are in relationships that are being abused.
So she's not a rape woman in a relationship, so Kerby Centre can't help her. Now, what about the mustard seed?
The mustard seed, the bus left at 6 o'clock.
Buses have stopped running. Community Links, Mayor Brown, Paul Schultz. It's another repeat of 5 years ago. The buses have stopped running, and you're shipping our citizens out of the city, and you're murdering them.
That's leaving them there.
Leaving them there, and that's not acceptable. You haven't cleaned it up. Premier Kenny, we have to change the walking orders of what's happening to
like
homeless,
they just kick you out. They just kick you out and say, okay, you have to go now.
60-year-old women in the city.
And 20-year-old women, and all different kinds.
All different types of women.
All different. It doesn't matter, man or woman. They just kick you out, and if there's no buses running, tough shit.
Now, I just happened to come by to do some business, and I was sitting with a fellow businessman here, having coffee, and I spied this lady sitting over there, and part of her story, it turns out her family is a Holocaust survivor, and her mother is Jewish. And that is the mitzvah and the miracle of this story. Yeah. So Premier Kenny, Baruch Hashem, sadly, the story of the missing and murdered Native women, 2,000 of them, happened. And boys.
And men, for sure. It's not just women.
So this Jewish woman is standing up and speaking out for her fellow sisters. Happens because the RCMP
just put you out there.
Do they even take your name?
Yeah, they find out who you are. Just find out if there's any warrants.
So they dumped them on the side of the street with their name. So Commissioner RCMP and Public Safety Minister Stockwell, is it Stockwell? No, I don't know his name. Can we do an investigation, please, of those officers who dumped her 3 times in Airdrie on the side of the street, and dig up that file and stop it from happening?
Because that's how people get murdered, honestly.
Tell the camera.
That is how people get murdered, because we are put out to fend for ourselves and put in inner city where a lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol, and a lot of natives, and a lot of anger, and a lot of, you're just another homeless statistic. You're one of 7,000. You're a number. You're nothing. You're a check. And if they don't have to give you a check, that's one less homeless person you have to help.
So are we correct in saying when the landlord in Airdrie decides that you're scum,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They decide that right after they get the
and
money.
so they telephone the RCMP?
Yeah.
So the RCMP are acting as agents of the state under the Trespass Act to say, out.
And that's true. And that's I want to end this, okay?
Okay.
I've been talking about this for like 5 hours, and I have so much documentation. I have documentation from the top of my head to the bottom of my feet.
RCMP, on behalf of Mayor Brown and Paul Schultz, leave Tina Coulter on the side of the street to have her murdered. Disgusting. You've been found out, city, province, landlords, and also other parties in the city.
So let's
Baruch
do
Hashem,
something about it.
we are together.
Let's do something about it.
This is why Tina and ABSALOM HERDMAN and my trusty videographer on here, whose name is?
Is Zabu.
Zabu, the videographer on this for HERDMAN Media. Call us. Let us know
Text us.
if this
Facebook us.
Facebook us if this is acceptable behavior in 17 cities and 108 towns in Alberta, and still going on across Canada. Tina is not going to be a victim.
That's right.
So tonight she goes to the Ramada Inn, and I've given her the phone number to Habat Lubavitch, and if they can't help her, to other agencies.
Somebody will.
And the hope is she can do Aliyah to Israel with her son, who is in Edmonton somewhere.
Yeah. Homeless. Another homeless.
Homeless. Baruch Hashem. Thank you.